Hey guys, what is up? It is No Help and welcome back to another video today. So, sailing got a huge update with resources and skilling activities being introduced for pole, and today we're going to be checking it out. Okay, so before we set sail, this blog's pretty hefty. You might be wondering why we've introduced so many new resources, rewards, and ideas all at once. Sailing isn't just a new skill, it's also a new way to explore the world of old school RuneScape. Just like how Varlamore brought new quests and skilling activities to the game, the islands and oceans you'll explore in sailing are packed with new content. That's something I kind of wanted to bring up. Is a lot of people were complaining about sailing and that they don't want a new skill in the game, but just kind of like how they said how Varlamore brought so much new content that majority of the community was pretty happy with. I'm hoping that sailing will do the exact same thing, but like on a way bigger scale, just so much good content. So previous skills have come hand in hand with the resources required to support their unique gameplay. We've strived to make sailing feel authentically old school by leaning into this same kind of progression and adding new thematic resources, wood to craft hulls and sails, metals for sturdy needles and cannons, and fish and bait for long sea voyages. While it may feel like we're adding a lot, we've been careful to find a good balance alongside these new resources. We're also making sure to incorporate existing materials such as nails, traditional planks, and other items you already know well from your adventures. Some of you have also been wondering why we aren't reusing existing but unloved resources like Arctic pine or redwood logs. It's a good idea, but we'd like to add a bit of realism to the game wherever possible. Arctic pine and redwood are softwoods, whereas in real life you'd want to use strong hardwoods for boat building. So we've carefully selected some new hardwood resources that are perfect for building and upgrading your ships. This is a really good point. And also, people may have thousands of Arctic pines or maybe even hundreds of thousands of redwood logs stored up in the bank already. And when sailing gets released, I feel like it should be more of an even playing field for everybody. I mean, that's more of like, that's my personal opinion, but so wherever possible, we've done the research and aimed for authenticity. On a similar note, we're also using this opportunity to fill existing logical gaps. For example, we've got flax and we've got linen, but weaving linen isn't something you can currently do. Now that we have sails, it's the perfect opportunity to showcase that logical relationship and add more depth to crafting within the game. Many of the materials mentioned in this blog will be introduced as core parts of the new skill, for which you already voted. I like how they say that. But it's up to you, the community, how they should affect other parts of the game. We think they add value to existing skills like mining and woodcutting, so we'd like to offer them as upgrades to those skills. However, they could be obtained in other ways, such as purely via skilling activities. So without further ado, let's dive into what's coming next. As you guys can see, there is a lot in this blog, but we're just going to cover it all, and this is going to be one hell of a video. But anyways, we're going to start with woodcutting, fire making, and more. So we've got new logs. So we touched briefly on this above, but as part of sailing, you'll be exploring vibrant new islands, teeming with exotic hardwood trees, just the thing to build and upgrade your mighty ships with. So in introducing these new tree types and logs, we've been careful to ensure that they complement existing training methods without overshadowing the meta. So don't worry, your teaks are in safe hands. Each new hardwood offers unique XP rates and versatile uses in ship building, fletching, and high-tier pyres. I'm definitely going to butcher these names, but we have the Jatoba logs. Native to the sunny shores of the Great Conch, this particular hardwood is no good for boats, but it might come in handy for questing, comparable to a lower XP maple tree. So up next here we have the Campor logs. Fragrant and resilient, Campor logs provide excellent wood for constructing seaworthy vessels, fit for mid-tier voyages, used in shipbuilding as hardwood tree above mahogany. Will give slightly more XP per hour than mahogany trees, but less logs per hour. Up next here we have the ironwood logs. So these dense, hardy logs ensure your ship withstands even the harshest storms, bridging the gap between skilled craftsmanship and adventurous spirit. Used in shipbuilding as a hardwood tree above Campor, will give slightly more XP per hour than Campor trees, but less logs per hour. Okay, and then finally here, we have the rosewood logs. So these are reserved for master sailors. Rosewood offers unmatched durability and prestige, ideal for elite vessels, and then used in shipbuilding as hardwood trees above ironwood. And they will give slightly more XP per hour than ironwood trees, but less logs per hour. Wow, that was a lot of information. So here's more of a detailed picture that we actually kind of get to see what the trees look like. So we've obviously got the Jatoba at level 40, and then all the way up to the rosewood at level 92 woodcutting. And you can see the different uses that they can be used in fire making, fletching, and construction. And they obviously go hand in hand with sailing, and they look pretty cool. Some of these trees, especially like the Jatoba one here and the rosewood, they look pretty unique. Okay, up next we have mining new ores. So these uncharted waters are also full of rare and precious minerals, perfect for reinforcing our ships and crafting powerful naval weaponry. These new ores include stackable rubium, dust for cannonballs, and valuable nickel ores. Each aims to cater to specific niches too. So first of all, up here we have the lead ore. So offers early game adventurers an alternative to iron. Once mined, can be used for reinforcing hulls and building sturdy structures. We have the rubium ore, mined from regular old rocks. Rubium produces cannonballs perfect for tactical naval warfare. And finally, we've got the nickel ore gathered similarly to Motherlode mine paydirt. This versatile metal combines with copper to create copper nickel, a key component in advanced creations. And these new ores look really cool, right? As you can see here. So lead is level 25 mining. That's more of a conventional mining method. And then obviously we got the rubium splinters, similar to volcanic ash. We have the rubium geodes, similar to maybe infernal shale deposits. And then you obviously smash them into the splinters. And then we have nickel, which will be mined similarly to paydirt from the Motherlode mine. And look at how cool these new ores look, man. Very unique. Okay, up next here we have fishing. And there's lantern fishing and deep sea trawling. Lots of new content, as you can see, for fishing. Starting only at level 52, you can do the new lantern sort of harpoon method and get yourself some raw sword tip squids. Or if you have level 91 fishing, you can do the best deep sea trawling with raw marlin. So fishing gets richer with lantern fishing and deep sea trawling, providing squid and other unique fish with special uses in herblore, cooking, and even fletching. So this is something sort of new. Like, they have some methods like this in the game, but like where fishing gets used in a lot more skills than just cooking, right? Very cool and very unique. Okay, so yeah, we pulled deep sea trawling as an immersive new activity blending sailing and fishing to provide unique and rewarding gameplay experiences. In our previous sailing pull blog, unlike traditional fishing methods, deep sea trawling focuses on exploring vast ocean expanses to encounter large shoals teeming with exotic marine life, of course, right? And here are some of the types of fish. Some of these are crazy, right? So we've got, starting here with a level 69 cooking requirement for this fish. Not a big deal. It doesn't have any special effects, right? But if we go to haddock right here, for example, right, you'll need 73 cooking to cook it. It will heal 18 HP. It has a special effect where it can overheal up to 10 HP, which is very cool, similar to, say, a Saradomin Brew. And it also has a use in Herblore to make a super fishing potion. Now, this potion might actually come in handy with all of the new fish coming into the game. Next, we have the yellowfin tuna, which will require 79 cooking. This will heal 19. And this food's really interesting because it will restore 20% of your run energy, which can be extremely useful as some bosses in the game. And then also it has a use in Herblore too to make an extreme energy potion. Halibut is going to be the new Carambwan, requiring level 83 cooking. It will heal 20. I believe a Carambwan right now is 18. I could be wrong, but it'll be a combo like a Carambwan, so that's going to be the new Carambwans. And then we have the bluefin tuna, which will require 87 cooking, will heal 22 HP, and every time you eat one of these, it will restore 5 prayer points as well. Another really cool fish to take to bosses, maybe even your slayer tasks, and yeah, that 5 prayer is huge. And finally, up last, we have the marlin, which will require 93 cooking, and it will heal 24 HP. I believe that is the highest healing food in the entire game, so that's the biggest W we've seen here so far. And also, it will be used in Herblore for an extended stamina potion. Like, these are just overall so good. Up next, we have hunter. Crab hunting. Here we go. I know they were talking about there's more crabs in the game now. So, at last, Crab Rave Reel. Crab hunting is an engaging new hunter activity which introduces an entirely different rhythm to your hunter skill. So here's how it works. So place your traps at set locations and bait them with a fish offcut. Tasty. So after a set amount of time, crabs will make a dash for the baited trap. Red and blue crabs will move after 15 ticks, and rainbow crabs will move after 25 ticks. So with each precise timing, you can achieve smooth cycles of setting, baiting, and harvesting traps, resulting in consistent hunter XP. Okay, so yeah, this is cool. Level 21, you can sort of start this with red crabs, 48 with the blue crabs, and 77 hunter with the rainbow crabs. And you can obtain crab meat using a knife, or crab paste using a pestle and mortar, which again can be used with, say, Herblore, cooking, and hunter. Very cool. Okay, this is something I'm personally really excited for because I'm a big farming boy. We've got the coral nurseries and new crops. So as you can see, new stuff starting at level 28 farming all the way up to 92, right? So of course we can do the new coral. There's 3 new corals right here. I'm not going to try and pronounce them all, but yeah. And then we can also start doing flax, hemp, that's interesting, and then cotton. And then we obviously are going to be getting some new hardwood seeds, which is so good because hardwoods are one of my favorite things to plant because, you know, you don't have to touch them for 3 days and you get a massive chunk of XP. And yeah, this is like the whole design and the art for this is just cool as hell. So this is the coral nurseries. We've got all the different types, right? And you can put them in specialized underwater plots, crucial for potent Herblore. Yeah, so I guess you're going to be using a lot of these for Herblore, showing the farming levels, the growth time, protection, and then the resource you get. Very cool. Same with the new hops. We can do flax, hemp, and cotton. So that's going to be the underwater too. Is that right? No, those are for hops patches. It's just the art sort of made it look like it. And then finally, we got the new hardwood ones, right? And as you can see, oh, these are actually fair. Okay, 96 hours. That's what, 4 days? Something like that. 4 days. Yeah, so similar. And then, oh, finally a use for the dragon fruits for payment. Damn. Okay, up next, we've got crafting and fletching, fabrics, and blowpipes. This is also really, really cool. So, time to spin and yarn. Literally, use freshly farmed materials to weave fabrics for your sails, or carve sturdy blowpipes from island hardwoods. An ideal upgrade until you get your hands on the toxic blowpipe. Imagine this, man. You can get a blowpipe before Zulrah now, which is just freaking crazy to me. It's gonna be so good for low level accounts. Gonna give darts such a huge use at the start of the game. Just a huge W overall. I always wanted them to do something like that. So crafting bolts of durable linen, canvas, and cotton to keep your sails ship shape. So yeah, again, all the stuff that you can plant, you can actually now use. And again, we've got so much flax already in the bank, right? So we can get right to making the sails and fishing nets. And then obviously the fletching will be able to carve new blowpipes from camphor, ironwood, and rosewood, providing powerful ranged weaponry for mid-level adventurers. I can't wait to test these out, man. They look really cool as well, and especially before you get something like the toxic blowpipe, it's going to be phenomenal. Okay, so as you can see right here, it will show you the different ones. You're going to need, say, 45 range for the basic camphor blowpipe, all the way up to 65 range for the rosewood, which are the range attack bonus, the strength bonus right here, and the max dart type. So this is really important. So you can do either the mithril darts or all the way up to the adamant darts. So you can't do something like rune or dragon darts, but at the end of the day, right, most people in the regular blowpipe are using adamant darts anyways, or I guess we have amethyst, right? Either adamant or amethyst, or rune maybe, but nobody really uses dragon or anything like that. So these might not be bad at all, especially to use to fight Zulrah, you know what I mean? And it looks like to make them, you only need 2 logs and 1 squid beak. So it looks like all the new resources you're getting from sailing you use to make these. I'm a huge fan of this. Okay, finally, herblore and cooking, potions and food. New potions. We're mixing up powerful new potions like anti-bleed and armadillo bruise, each of which has a unique and potent effect. So yeah, this is just phenomenal, man. I'm really excited. And again, look at all this stuff. All the primary and secondary ingredients, most of them anyways, are from the new content. I love that people won't have a million of these already ready to go. Like, a lot of this stuff is going to be released with sailing, right? So let's check these out. So we've got the anti-odor salt, a stackable salt that is automatically consumed to smoke a hunter trap when setting one up. Cool. With the anti-bleed, so cures bleeding and heals 5 HP, but does not prevent bleed from being reapplied. So for certain bosses, right? We have the super fishing potion, which will boost fishing by 6 levels, which is actually huge, thinking about it, right? The extreme energy potion will restore 40% run energy. I think the one right now, the super, does 20. The super hunter potion, right, will boost hunter by 6. Again, these like super skilling potions are actually way more useful than people think. Like 6 hunter levels can be huge, especially at the higher end, right? You can, do like way better methods like herbivore, whatever, like 6 levels earlier is kind of massive. Extended stamina potion will 70% reduction in run energy depletion for 4 minutes, up from 2 minutes with the regular stamina. And then each dose adds 2 charges to the ring of endurance and consumes 2 charges from the ring. And up last, we have a new potion called the Armadillo Brew. So heals hit points for 10% plus 2 and raises range level by 10% plus 4. Very interesting potion, right? This is going to be useful for a ton of bosses in the game, right? Reduces attack, strength, magic, and defense by 10% +2. So it's like a Ceradomin brew, but kind of for range, right? Okay, up next here we have cooking. So lots of different foods are going to be added to the game, starting with red crabs at level 21, you know, the different healing. And we kind of went over most of their special effects already, right? But yeah, tons of new fish ranging from level 21 all the way to 93 cooking, showing the different methods, either getting them from crab hunting, lantern fishing, or deep sea trawling. And most of these I'm a huge fan of, and yeah, so I was right about the marlin. This will be the biggest single bite food in the game now. Okay, up next we have smithing and construction, so shipbuilding essentials. So hammers at the ready. We're smithing everything from sturdy keel parts to explosive cannonballs. Upgrade your ship from bronze to dragon, and master unique weaponry. Very, very cool. So we got the anneal and hull parts, craft bronze to dragon to your parts, and add new planks to build stronger and more versatile ships. New cannonballs. So we've added loads of new cannonballs. Some of them can be smith in the same way as your bog standard cannonballs, while others will be exclusive drops from mobs at sea. And again, there's a lot of information here, different of the bars that you will need to smith. Look at this dragon part, which, you know, 94 smithing as a requirement. Really cool. So I guess when you are maxed going into sailing, there's definitely an advantage for sure. Having higher levels in general will be an advantage, but at the end of the day, a lot of these are new parts, right? With like the lead, the nickel. Looks like copper is going to have some use again, which is weird. So maybe copper is going to go up in value a bit. Maybe keep an eye out for that. And then obviously the different types of the cannonballs. They don't know dragon. Oh, I guess you can't smith the dragon cannonballs. They said some will be mob drops, right? Very interesting. And then obviously the burning effects as well. You can add like the splinters. This is all coming together. Okay, so we've got improved cannonball smithing. So on Brittle Island, requiring level 81 sailing, there is a special furnace almost snowed under. This furnace of dwarven make is much better at smithing cannonballs. Okay, effectively the forge reduces the time it takes to smith one set of cannonballs from 8 ticks to 4 ticks. This includes the smithing of steel cannonballs for the dwarf multi-cannon. Additionally, the double mold from Giant's Foundry can also be used here. I was gonna say we already have the double mold, but very, very cool, you know? A new island that has new technology to make cannonballs faster. So the furnace will be located on a remote island, but very close to a docking point. With the help of your teleport to boat spell, you could easily teleport to your bank of choice and return in a snap. While you'll save time, you'll want to consider the rune cost of such an endeavor. Cannonballs with lower profit margins are unlikely to be worth your time. So the eagle-eyed among you might have spotted that we've renamed cannonballs steel cannonballs to avoid confusion. So your boat cannon is a nifty bit of hardware that will accept any kind of cannonball, whereas your trusty dwarf multi-cannon only takes steel cannonballs. While we're mindful of balancing, we're open to exploring future upgrades to the dwarf multi-cannon, which will allow you to use some fancy new, cannonballs. So let us know what you think. New cannonballs come in 2 flavors. Chain shot cannonballs have the same max hit as the corresponding basic cannonball and will stop your enemies in their tracks. To boot, incendiary cannonballs also deal the same max hit as their basic counterparts, but also apply a burn effect to the target. Spicy. So the new cannonballs will be created by talking to relevant components, by taking, relevant components to an anvil. Chain shots, of course, use chain, whereas incendiary cannonballs use those rubium splinters you'll be mining. Yeah, I do like the whole burn effect with the cannon. It definitely makes it more interesting for sure, but it's also nice that you can now make other cannonballs and make them quicker with this new island. Cannons, so sailing or range based. So cannons are one of the most exciting aspects of sailing, letting you engage foes at sea and even take pot shots at creatures ashore. So, however, an important question has surfaced about how they should function. Should they remain linked to your sailing skill, or should they instead utilize your range skill? It's one of those things, right, where I don't really know what to say, because in my head, it makes sense to use ranged for a cannon, right? Because the dwarf multi-cannon uses range, why not cannons on a ship? But then people with 99 range have such a big advantage at release. But I guess sailing level, maybe you need a sailing level and a range level. But I think they're asking maybe if you should get a range XP for firing the cannon. Maybe you should get a bit of both. Sort of like, you know, using a weapon on a certain style that gives you multiple XP. Maybe do that. So let's take a quick look at the debate. So considerations, so combat implications. So with cannons able to target enemies on land, a level 3 skiller can now train Slayer more easily by luring creatures close to shore. So non-range monsters can be more easily safe spotted from boats. 100%, that's something to think about, but I mean, that's just very niche. So the existing dwarf multi-cannon relies on your range skill. That's kind of what I was just saying, right? But cannons in Temporis and Barbarian Assault, however, are not range-based, meaning skillers already have cannon access without using range. That's a good point too. So integration and narrative. So making cannons range-based could seamlessly integrate sailing with an existing combat skill. Conversely, cannons are facilities aboard your ship. It makes sense that your skill in sailing would influence your accuracy and effectiveness while using one. Impact on metas. So new training methods for skillers could open exciting gameplay options, just as the Chambers of Xeric created fresh avenues for skill-based accounts. It's one of those things where they do have to look at it a little bit, but I mean, it's a little far. So with the above in mind, here's our plan. So keep sailing cannons sailing based. Accuracy and damage will remain determined by your sailing level. This maintains thematic consistency and allows us to stay true to what's already been communicated and tested. I like it too because, again, everyone has a very fresh start from day one, and your range level shouldn't impact sailing. So say it was range based, there's a little quest at the start where you have to kill something with a cannon, right? Maybe 99 range, you could just finish the quest super easy, but at 1 sailing, it may take you a while, right? And it's brand new, right? I don't know. I think I think their approach is definitely the way to go. So explore new skill integration in the future. So for instance, magical cannons utilizing your magic skill to shoot fireballs, or specialized range-focused dwarven ship cannons could be exciting expansions. 100%. Up next, we have utility skills, constructing your sailing experience. So this is construction, and look at the cost of these planks. Crazy. I think these are the most expensive ones in the game by far. So we're getting 3 new planks into the game, which is so nice. So obviously Campor planks, ironwood planks, and rosewood planks. 7,500 for a rosewood plank, right? And then obviously these are the different like hulls you can make with them. So starting with a wood hull at level 1 construction, needing 5 planks, right? And then all the way up to 84 construction using 5 redwood planks. Very cool. I do like the fact that these are like expensive logs, you know what I mean? Might bring some money into skilling again, you never know. Okay, so ship building. So construction is taking to the high seas. Aboard ship, you'll be building everything from sturdy ship hulls to intricate components, setting the stage for countless epic voyages. So first up, we've got new planks to go with those new hardwoods. You'll notice that you can't yet use these to construct anything in your POH. And that's because we don't want to create a new construction methods that exceed the XP per hour you get from building teak and mahogany furniture. It's another thing too, because they'd have to implement that into mahogany homes, I'm sure, as well. Maybe they will in the future, but you can see the XP per plank here. The rosewood planks, 190 construction per plank, pretty good. Alongside the new planks, shipbuilding, we'll also see the addition of ship components. These are new items that are created and then used in shipbuilding. Some of these items can be made from planks using construction, a hammer, and a saw at the workbenches near shipwrights. So obviously anything from a wood hull part, which requires level 1 construction, to a rosewood hull part, which is 84. And then it looks like you put the hull parts into large hull parts. Again, level 1 all the way to 84. So thieving, that's kind of what you think of with like sailing and like Vikings and whatever, right? Is like thieves. So this is going to be interesting. So looks like there's a bunch of different thieving methods that are going to be coming into the game as well. So travel to new locations to thieve. What you can pickpocket. Then you can obviously pickpocket local pirates, as well as stealing from chests and stalls that don't despawn when they are relooted. Okay, that don't despawn when they are looted. Okay, interesting. So pirates, rusty pirates chest, reinforced pirates chest, all the way at 76 thieving, and it keeps going down the list. It looks like there's a cannonball stall, which you can get bronze to rune cannonballs at level 87 thieving. Very cool. So thieving, pirate, plunder, and merchant stalls. So we know you all plan to sail the 7 seas in an orderly and lawful manner. Yeah, right. So just between us, though, we do plan to introduce some opportunities for sticky-fingered sailors. So sneak through bustling markets or plunder pirate strongholds with nothing but your thieving skills. In this case, crime doesn't pay in the form of balanced XP rates and intricate loot like coral frags and cannonballs. So very, very cool, right? You can see all the different items, and like there's a lot of them, right? And like even at level 33 thieving right here, you can get coins, gems, bars, runes, different coral stuff, which is really cool. Even medium clue scrolls, right? It goes down the list. So the reinforced pirate chest, again, getting hard clue scrolls, very, very cool. And then there's merchant stalls. Again, we're used to some of these in the game, like the silk stalls, the fish stalls, right? But, the new ones, cannonball stalls, very, very cool. Can't wait to try these out. Okay, so what's next and the future polls. So all the content we proposed is designed to enrich the game world without overshadowing existing training methods. I like how they're adding a lot of variety to the game, to be completely honest. So we're aiming to give you loads of fun new ways to switch things up while you're training your skills, but we're not stopping there. After our proposals pass the poll, we'll be doing some rigorous reviews to make sure that XP rates, spawn timers, and yields are well balanced and slide right in alongside existing skill activities. You can help us by sharing your feedback and letting us know your priorities. We're sailing ahead together. This is phenomenal, man. Like, it's just got me so excited for sailing, and I know a lot of people aren't the biggest fans of sailing, but at the end of the day, it's a skill we're gonna have to train, right? And the fact that they're giving us so much content is amazing. And all these things, yes, could be added without sailing. Very true. They could even make new islands with teleports over there to get to them, or charter ships, right? But it's just adding an interesting mechanic where you actually have to sail over and explore these new things, like it's a first for everyone, and it's just super exciting to me. Yeah, I'm honestly really excited, and I think they've done a phenomenal job so far, and pretty much everything in here is a pass for me, to be completely honest. There's a couple things that are like but like most of it is just phenomenal, and I'm so excited for it to come into the game. Let me know what you guys think of this down in the comments below. Also, let me know what your favorite part of this is as well. I'd have to say for me, it might even be the fishing and all those new food that we can get. There's a lot of cool opportunities with the sailing skill, and this is just the beginning. So yeah, very excited. If you guys did watch the entire video today, go ahead and comment new blowpipe, because that's also really exciting as well. But thank you guys so much for watching. I will catch you in the next video. See ya later.